The Cleveland Browns just made a huge trade for Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson decided to waive his no-trade clause and join the Cleveland Browns. And with the Deshaun Watson move, the Browns also signed quarterback Jacoby Brissett to back up Watson. Both of those moves leave the Cleveland Browns with a huge question to answer. What is going to happen next with Baker Mayfield? Now, Baker Mayfield has requested a trade due to the entire situation dealing with Deshaun Watson. So what are they going to do next with Baker? And one possible option that can happen is the Browns trading him to the Indianapolis Colts. But before I get into my thoughts on that potential trade, make sure you guys leave this video a like, as that always helps the channel to grow. And if you are a first-time viewer, make sure you click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss any of the football videos that I post on this channel. My name is APWSPORTS, and let's talk about Baker Mayfield. Without further ado, let's dive into it.
I'm striving to get rich. That's why I almost went 2 years without buying shoes and fits. Things change now. My mom hearing me wear my music and she look a little prouder.
Now, I've already talked about on this channel what the trade means from the Cleveland Browns perspective of getting Deshaun Watson. So if you guys want to check that video out, I will leave it in the cards and as well as the end of this video. But what this trade means for the Browns with Baker Mayfield is that they have an entirely different question to answer. What are they going to do with Baker Mayfield next? Now, Baker Mayfield, the last couple of seasons, has played some solid football. He led the Browns to the playoffs in 2020, but he had a bit of a dip in 2021, and that was mainly due to a ton of injuries, mainly the torn labrum on his non-throwing shoulder. This Browns team heavily disappointed last year, coming off a very successful 2020, which also saw them win their first playoff game, and Lord knows how long. And Baker Mayfield was a huge key in the Browns' success in 2020, and to be real honest, he was a big part of why the Browns failed, but there were a lot of injuries that Baker Mayfield was dealing with. This Browns offense disappointed. It got to the point where Odell Beckham Jr. ended up leaving the team to sign with the Los Angeles Rams, and it caused a lot of confusion and it caused a lot of unhappiness within the Cleveland Browns organization and players. So Baker Mayfield, yes, he still was out there. He was still trying to go through those injuries, but those injuries played a big part of why this Browns offense did not succeed in 2021. Even though they had a stellar running game with Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, this Browns team failed to live up to preseason expectations in 2021, and you could point to Baker Mayfield as a huge reason as to why, which is why the franchise decided to make a move and go in a different direction and head towards Deshaun Watson. Now, also, Baker Mayfield was coming up for a contract extension, and at this point, I believe the Browns decided that they did not believe in him to extend him or believe in him to be the guy for them going forward after taking them #1 overall in 2018. So the Browns decided to get Deshaun Watson to be a replacement for Baker Mayfield. And also the signing of Jacoby Brissett also pushes things forward with Baker Mayfield's unhappiness with the situation in Cleveland. Now, one potential destination that he can go to is the Indianapolis Colts. Now, a lot of questions are going to be answered as to why the Indianapolis Colts, because they just traded Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders, and he is coming off a very similar season as to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield and Carson Wentz, I believe, are very similar type of quarterbacks. They are both coming off of injury-riddled 2021 seasons. They are both coming off of periods down the stretch late in the season where they both struggled and both of their teams missed the playoffs. They both have a similar type of skill set as far as their mobility and their ability to push the ball down the field. But I believe the difference between Carson Wentz and the Colts and Baker Mayfield and the Colts is that Baker Mayfield has a higher ceiling to reach with this Indianapolis Colts team. Carson Wentz, he did come off of 2020 where he was benched. 2019 was a solid season for him, but his career has been riddled with injuries throughout the entire period. Baker Mayfield only had last year where his seasons where injuries played a big part in his performance. And I believe they are in similar type of offenses with Kevin Stefanski with the Cleveland Browns and now Frank Reich with the Indianapolis Colts. Both the Browns and the Colts possess some of the better offensive lines that we have in the NFL, and they both possess some of the better running games that we have in the NFL. With the Browns, Baker Mayfield had Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, and now with the Indianapolis Colts, he has Nyheim Hines and as well as Jonathan Taylor. So he goes into an Indianapolis Colts system where it is very similar to what Kevin Stefanski runs in Cleveland. Both are heavy predicated on running the football, and both can beat you in the passing game when schemed right. Both can get Baker Mayfield outside of the pocket and rolling out, which I believe is his best strength, is throwing on the move and having some deception as far as the play action game goes. But with Baker Mayfield versus Carson Wentz with the Indianapolis Colts, I believe that Baker Mayfield possesses A, mentality to win now. B, he possesses an ability to stay healthy outside of 2021, where Carson Wentz's career has been riddled with injuries. And we have seen in big moments where Baker Mayfield has stepped up and got his teams to wins. Something that I think that Carson Wentz lacks in a little bit with that Indianapolis Colts team, which is why I believe they decided to move on from Carson Wentz. And also from the Indianapolis Colts perspective, they still have a roster that can compete and win in that AFC South, which I believe is not going to be a very strong division. And with the addition of a guy like a Baker Mayfield to the Indianapolis Colts, I believe they can drive that notch to overtake Tennessee in that division. Even though Tennessee is still keeping some of their pieces intact, I believe a trade with Baker Mayfield to the Indianapolis Colts can help with them competing in that AFC South and get back to the playoffs where they rightfully belong. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to pay a ton of money for Baker Mayfield as he is still on his rookie deal. You have a year option where you can see how things go, and if they don't go right, you can decide to move on, and if they do go right, you can keep him there and extend him. Versus Carson Wentz, who was locked into a bigger contract, you get Baker Mayfield, who's on a cheaper deal, so you can have the salary cap and the money in order to get other things around Baker Mayfield to help him succeed with this Frank Reich offense. Even though they do lose defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus to the Bears, I believe this Colts defense paired with this Colts offense can lead them to very, very good success if they were able to bring in Baker Mayfield to be their quarterback. Because the Colts are in a situation where they are a quarterback away from really competing in that AFC South. I'm not going to say they're going to be Super Bowl contenders, but they can still keep themselves afloat and win football games with Baker Mayfield versus Carson Wentz. And there's not really anything spectacular in this draft for the Colts as far as the quarterback position goes. So you can get Baker Mayfield and then surround him with other weapons to help him succeed in this offense. But I do believe a Baker Mayfield trade to the Indianapolis Colts makes a ton of sense, not only for Baker Mayfield, but for the Colts going forward. But those are my thoughts on this Baker Mayfield potential trade to the Colts. Make sure you guys leave this video a like, as that always helps the channel to grow and also helps beat the YouTube algorithm. Comment your thoughts down below. What do you think about a potential trade for Baker to the Colts? And as always, click that subscribe button and notification bell so you will not miss a single video. But I am APW Sports signing out. Make sure you guys stay safe. Have a great and excellent day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.